Alright, how's everybody doing today? Hope everyone's doing well. So in my last video I discussed this thing briefly, one of the Sumerian drawings, Elijah, Moses, and Jesus, which goes hand in hand with that there, right? You see the similarities? These are the three different worlds. Remember I talked about in the script, it talks about the tents and the tabernacles that were made for Elijah, Moses, and Jesus. That has to do with the domes, and it has to do with the three worlds. That's why there's three individuals over there. We're in this box. Okay, and we're processing all three of these worlds. Okay, that's why this right here. Now, did everybody get a chance to see the auroras in your area? Okay, there were three of them that hit us, correct? One was a cannibal. One came up from behind and joined the other one right when it hit Earth. And the very next day at 12 o'clock, the third one hit. Now, why is that significant? Because if you read the script, right, that Jesus character was crucified, and on the day of his crucifixion, the sky went dark for 3 hours from noon until 3. Right? That's why that one hit at noon on Wednesday. So I don't know if the two that joined together that hit us was two of the actual domes coming together as one, and this would be the third one, and we're just waiting on the fourth, which there was another blast off the sun just last night, as a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, on the 14th. And oddly enough, if it takes 3 days to get here, because I view all this completely different, that'll put it here about the 17th. And oddly enough, there's some things in the sky taking place on the 17th that were in the sky for his rapture and his rapture. Because each one of these worlds, remember, this isn't our first rapture, okay? There was a rapture event that happened going from here to here. There was another rapture event that went from here to here. There was another rapture event that went from here to here. There'll be another rapture event that takes us out of this box and back to reality. And it's just a wave of energy, because everything is energy. That's how, if you've been studying this stuff long enough, there's phrases out there that say energy can't be created nor destroyed. It just changes shape, right? And I've talked about this in all my videos, how what once used to be a UFO, that energy is still there. It just now takes the shape of something else. Either a hurricane, a fire, it's something else. We're not reliving the exact events. It's all symbology. I've said this before. It's not just the hand gestures and the company logos. Everything about this reality is just symbolic of a different reality. Okay? So we have another one coming on the 17th, which, like I said, there are certain things that are lining up in the sky that are going to be exactly the same on the 17th as this and this. So, and when you read the script, and this is where the church gets so consumed with post-trib, pre-trib, mid-trib, blah, 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 right? Okay, so when everything got destroyed and we came into here going backwards, that was a post-trib. Everything had already gone down. Okay, so that was a post-trib. That's why it's mentioned in the script. This was probably a mid-trib. That's why it's mentioned in the script. And when it talks about the tribulation saints and the 7 years of, devastation that's going to take place and blah, 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 that's already happened too. Every little bit of it has already happened. Okay, the 7-year tribulation period was actually World War II. Now, if you look up World War II, they'll tell you it only lasted for 6 years, from 1949 until 1939 until 1945. But prior to them proclaiming it a world war, because that's just another label, you know, in the years of 38, you know, go ask Czechoslovakia when World War II happened for them. That happened back in 38. So from 38 to 45 is the 7-year tribulation. And I've said before that in 1945, after the war, is when we had a merger. I showed that in another video coming out of the Night at the Museum movie, where he jumped into a picture frame from the Roman days straight to after World War II. That's when the two timelines blended together, because prior to that, they were running congruent. You had some people living in the timeline of World War II. You had some people living in the timeline of our Civil War and the Cowboys and Indians. Now, don't even ask me how that works. Like I said, I don't have a crystal ball. The only things I know are the things that I see playing out there. I can't predict the future. I can't, you know, I don't even know how half this stuff works. I just know what I see. So we'll just leave it at that. We have a fourth blast coming on the 17th-ish. Hopefully that'll be it. If not, we'll just keep looking, and I'll keep pondering, and I'll keep showing you the things that I see. All right, everybody. Love you all. Have a great day. Bye-bye.